and that's why I asked you about Jim Nill. Like, what has he done to turn over this franchise roster, to get the pipeline of prospects, get him to the point where they've got a lot of great draft picks that are now contributing at the NHL level? And it's not just, there was a time where it was Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, Alexander Radulov, or Jason Spezza, and nobody else.
When you ask that question, the word that comes to me, and between general manager and players, and that's all I really kind of care about, is transparency. I think Jim is open with his players. He doesn't tell them everything, but for the most part, you're keeping them in the loop. And the guy that you got to keep in the loop is the guy that's kind of driving the bus, and that's your captain, and Jamie. And I think between Jamie and Tyler, and I'm sure there's a couple other guys there, here's where it is. And I've always been a guy, and I don't think it can be done, but I wish that you had a guy on your team that you could go to and say, listen, we're thinking about making a move for this guy. That you could go to him, because I'll tell you what, as much as the GMs and the scouts and all these guys know about other players, nobody knows about other players in the league than the players themselves. Whether they personally know, or they know somebody that they can say, listen, what's this guy like? Is he cancer in the room, or is he this or that? How come they want him, and there has to be trust when you have those kind of things. And I don't know if that's ever going to get there, but yeah, I would like to. I mean, we call players in and we have conversations with them, but we tell them some things that we want to spread through the room. That's the whole point of the guys that are wearing the letters in your leadership group, is when you get a message from whether it's your general manager, typically it's always from your head coach, or we want this to spread through the room, and you need to help us get everybody on the same page. It just can't be the same guy with the same guy behind the bench yelling all the time and saying the same thing over and over again. And I can go back to the Hitchcock days, and Hitch brought it up to me, and the Luds, we got to get this guy in. We got to do this. And I would try to negotiate him with him. And I'd have to go in there and say, listen, our guys would like to play a little bit more like this. When you got guys like Brett Hull and Mo and Newing, they want to open up a little bit. They don't want to play this 2-1 boring game, right? And so, Hitch, can we here's what the guys want. It's not me, that, because I
don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah, I got none of that stuff. I mean, I can't do any of that stuff anyways. But it would be like, Hitch, can we? Well, and he goes, well, what are you talking about? So I'd explain it to him. I'd say, can you give us 5 games? Just give us 5 games to tweak a little bit of our system or whatever it may be. But I knew he wasn't going to give me 5 games. And he probably knew that I knew that. And he said, I'll give you 2. And I said, no. Can we just at least have 3 or 4? And so we'd agree on 3. And so I come in and back in the room and said, listen, we got rain for 3 games.
You got to be careful with Luddy at the poker table. The guy can negotiate.
Well, not so much. But anyways, what would happen is, and I can remember exactly when it happened. And it was Zuby. And Zuby tried something through the middle of the ice. It didn't work out, but big deal. Hitch snapped right away. And I just turned around and I looked at him and I said, 3 games. And Hitch kind of went, oh, I gave him my word. And so, but what happened is the players appreciated that part of it most of all. And knowing that he's not that guy that is going to be my way or the highway. He's willing to bend a little bit, but it would always come back to us at some point. I told you, fucking guys, we couldn't play that way, and that's the first chance that they get. You know what I mean?
What does Hitch think about your impression of him?
It doesn't matter. We're buddies.
By the way, I think a great time will be in the off season. We should have Hitch on. We can do it during the year too.
That'll be done.
How much fun would that be?
He would. Well, you let me know when we're done.
Yeah,
yeah. But no, he's a great coach. He's had lots of players, and the players that and there's been players that go into the Hall of Fame that couldn't stand him when they played for him. And the first guy that they'll mention is Ken Hitchcock, because he got me to play the way that I needed to play and not be an individual. You appreciate guys like that when you're done, because you know what? If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have done this, and we wouldn't have come together as a group. So, we all love the guy, and he's just he loves the sport.